In this next episode called A Legend Cometh from Another World. In the first chapter, there is, and she is given the choice of trying to rectify this of the third dragon that she had once rode, or be dethroned from the Pyramid Palace in Mareen. Again, this is not something that she wants to have to go through again. So she has it to where she makes a decree that in order for one to be saved, they have to find ways of providing that which the oldest, bigger dragon seeks. And so it is agreed upon that they will be paid in coin for setting out things that the dragon will enjoy. Thus, the dragon troubles seems to cease, and no more attacks upon people or children are done. Again, this knight, who had enjoyed the sexual pleasures and company of Deanerys, tries to make another attempt for a time of love. Again, she tells him that she has no time for love, or any pleasures for that matter. And once again, he reluctantly accepts her decision and asks when. And she pretty much seems to start to get a little bit annoyed because he is persistent. She once again tells him that there are many women that he can take because many men seem to want her, but it is her choice. She chooses, not him. And to take his flowers elsewhere, find somebody else to please him, because her life has now taken a new direction by which a visionary has told her of this. He seems to be infatuated with her or obsessed with her, but does not let this out verbally. He again waits for a later time to maybe try it a third time. He figures if it keeps up, maybe eventually she'll give in, for she's got to be lonely and must miss the pleasures and company of him and what he can offer her through his big con. She does not find this, of course, very dignified, and that also turns her off. But she dismisses him and reminds him of his place. So without making her upset, because this would go against him for his attempt, he pretty much solemnly then takes his leave. The time for suitor or loss of title and the Mareen throne is then presented to her by certain officials of the palace, because she is to have a husband. Prophecy for her, it's like now the pressure is on. She has to have a suitor. That's all there is to it. So who will she marry? She knows she can't marry someone right away because of the prophecy that was told to her by the palace visionary. But yet the pressure is put on her, and this could also cause her to lose her title and the throne of Mareen. So she puts it off to where she will give them a decision later. They accept this and thus release the pressure a little bit, but they will be expecting an answer of who she will choose. She again looks in the sky. Of course, no comments are there now. And she thinks long and hard, what is she to do? When is the stranger supposed to appear? I mean, if she is to conquer the Iron Throne of Swords, and this time keep it, because it'll be a stranger from another world, not known of any kingdoms in her world, when will he appear? Because if she is forced into where she has to, even though it'd be her choice to choose a suitor, this could also be bad symbolism, because that means either the palace visionary lied, or things aren't coming to pass that they should. This causes her to be somewhat have an anxiety, not sure what to do at this point. So she has meditation as she looks out over the balcony, trying to figure out what is she to do, because she'll only have a certain amount of time to put this off, and she may only be able to do it like another 2 times, and then she'll have to make a decision, even if it's not in favor of the prophecy that the visionary gave her, if he wasn't using lies, trickery, and deception, which she believes, or she wants to believe, and tries to continue to believe that this was not the intention of the palace visionary. In the meantime, the slavers bravely conquered that which was lost. They have a new leader who was never killed, who is about 8 feet tall, wearing the golden, horned mask. They conquered that which was lost by having liquefied or taken up all the slaves for those few cities that are at least to one part of the kingdom that surrounds Mareen. But again, they don't take all the cities. And thus ends the episode 9, Behold, a legend cometh from another world. The slaver leader then walks in the door, and as if he's symbolically rubbing the chin of his mask, makes his decision on what his quest is. My quest is to have Mareen, the jewel of my reigning kingdom, for it will be I who sits on the throne once and for all. But can't do this by myself, so he thinks. And as he's pacing back and forth, makes a decision of both politics and of future victories. I shall go and visit these kingdoms
in Westeros, if they are receptive and respectful of my appearance, I shall work to their benefit, and in turn they shall work for mine. By presenting myself, we, the slavers, Harpies, shall rule Esseros, and those that want the Iron Throne for the realm of the kingdom in Westeros shall have what they want. I think this would be the best way to achieve all, and thus I will have gained my quest to sit on the throne at the Pyramid Palace of Mareen. This shall bring the great victory. For all of you who are loyal and serve me well and follow me, most of you shall remain here to make sure we do not lose that which we have retaken. The rest of you that I hand a special key medallion to will be the chosen ones to follow me. We will go to Westeros, make our presence known, and present the opportunity of a lifetime to those who wishes to have their final say as to who rules the realm of the kingdom, while we rule Esseros. This shall be the victory and the quest that I seek. And so with that, he starts handing out to some, not all, a certain golden medallion, and the rest know their place, that they have to stay and protect that which they have regained, including the slaves of the outlying cities that are smaller. Those that have the medallions finally look up and realize that they have been chosen to follow him to Westeros. You will follow me, and we will make our presence known. Once they have what they want, we will then have what we want. They all nod in agreement, and so the ones that remain go back to their place of protecting that which they've taken, and those with the golden medallions then keep the medallions and follow the leader to preparing for his departure to Westeros to look for a certain relative of a Lanis King of the House Baratheon, so that he can make his presence known and what benefits he has to offer by giving them aid. Once again, the relative to former King Lanis then contacts the King Bolton relative of the former nephew who killed his brother, the nephew's father, and informs him of a vision that the woman in red had through the fire god of flame. What? You believe her and her so-called god of fire? Well, no, not really. But then again, it does make one think. I did allow her to leave with dignity, and so I have kept my promise. But then again, what if another dragon must enter the world? It's bad enough we have the mother dragons to deal with. Can I really afford to have another dragon in the world to interfere with my rightful claim? Oh, whoop-de-doo. And what about my claim? You think you're the one that's supposed to have the Iron Throne? Yes, but we need to put aside our differences once again. We can pick up where we left off before. Otherwise, we're merely being pawns in the hand of the Mother Dragons, and if neither of us win, we both lose, and she still gets the Iron Throne. Can you afford that? Well, I suppose you're right. We can discuss who should have the Iron Throne later, I suppose. So what is it that you ask of me, then? We should join together again and unite. We don't need to worry about her dragons. If she kept true to her word, she will have locked the other two up, knowing that, though she doesn't really know, that they, three strangers, dragon slayers, have continued on their exploration. But their dragon slay guns, crossbows, are still remaining as a mere warning. Meantime, if we are to actually have our own claims, which we can discuss amongst ourselves later, we need to eliminate her completely. We need to form factions, and I think that it should be done so between us with, well, much discretion. Do you not agree? Yes, I suppose you're right. Obviously, there would still be one big dragon we have to worry about. So, I think for our own interests and our own claims, which we can debate later, we need to form a faction. I will contact the other one, the House of Frey, for the same unification there as well. So, with much discussion, they then sign an agreement once again that they shall be allies for the sole purpose of trying to remove her on a permanent basis. If they remove her from Mareen, they will not have to worry about her. And with 2 dragons locked up and 1 only in flight, it wouldn't be too hard to possibly take out 1 dragon, since the other 2 would not be released in time by the time they have her removed or done away with, that they then would have no longer anything to worry about from the House of Targaryen. They keep this very well hushed and to themselves, so that word does not get out to her, although eventually she will probably learn of it, but that won't be until much later when this mysterious stranger arrives. So thus then becomes the first faction of forming an alliance once again to overrun and overthrow Queen Daenerys Stormborn of the House Targaryen in Mareen of the Pyramid Palace in Esteros. So it then goes on to the next scene. In King's Landing, after Tyrion has had quite the honeymoon, him and Marcella seem to be doing quite well. She's not treacherous like the one that he had trusted before, and they get along quite well. They are seen as quite the distinguished couple. He makes his attempt of visiting Daenerys because he recalls that while he was stripped of being Hand of the Queen, she didn't forbid him permanently to not ever being seen again, just not that time when she was being removed. He takes sail with his new lovely wife, and through much sailing, they discuss plenty of things as to what Marcella can expect when she sees Daenerys, and convinces her that perhaps he should do the talking because she being a stranger and the fact that she may still be in heartache or feeling trouble and loss for not having been able to hang on to the Iron Throne of Swords for the realm of the kingdoms longer than 3 days. Marcella agrees to this because she's never seen Daenerys before. Eventually, they dock and he makes his way to the Pyramid Palace. And when Daenerys is informed of this, she allows him to come forward with his wife. My queen, yes, I see you've made it here to Mareen. Well, I recall you said you did not want to see me, and when I had asked, at the time I was found in disfavor of you, to which you took the Hand of the Queen from me, which I understand why you did. You said that it was not permanent, you just didn't want to see me that time. I wanted to make a call of an audience of you to find out if this would be a good time to see you. I am in better spirits now, Tyrion. What is it that you seek? I would like permission to live here. I have recently gotten married. Oh, well, this is my wife, and he points to Marcella. Daenerys kind of with her head slightly tilted to one side at the right, looking at Marcella. So I see you have found love. Yes, she's not like the one I had long ago, not treacherous, and, well, her name is Marcella. I see. Then how come we have never met before? Marcella then responds, with looking at Tyrion, who nods in approval for her to speak. Well, I would imagine you are a very busy queen, and since I'm not one of importance like you are, perhaps I'm not the kind that you would normally associate with. That is true. You would be like a commoner, but I see you as being very ladylike, and you have shown me much respect. I do welcome you to Mareen, and while you are married to Tyrion, I do wish you both the very best. Well, thank you, my queen. Marcella seems delighted that they're getting off to a good start. She then returns her focus onto Tyrion. I shall permit you to live in the kingdom. You just understand that I cannot return that which I have taken back, because I had my reasons. So therefore, being hand of the queen is no longer an option for you. Well, I understand, and I do accept this, and I appreciate you permitting me to live here. May I ask why you want to live here? Certain things are starting to come up. While I'm no longer permitted to give you wisdom like an advisor, things are starting to form, but it's not clear as of yet. And I know that things regarding my safety could be in question as well. And since you did say that it was not a permanent base, you did not want to see me, perhaps it might be best if I lived here, because at least then I know I'd be safe. Well, that is true, and I appreciate you having faith in me for your own safety. And as I said, things are looking up for me. Eventually, things will be revealed, but I'm not ready to reveal this yet. I understand. Very well then. I wish you to the best, and I welcome you, Marcella, to Esseros. So with that, they both take their leave of the palace and go find a place to live that is suitable for one of nobility and dignity of Tyrion, being of the house of Lannister. In Dragonstone, things look up for Littlefinger. He is given an invitation by decree of King Johnston, who him and his wife Miri invite him to come back to King's Landing to resume his duties, that all is well, and there's no ill will of him, and that he has nothing to fear. Littlefinger then approaches Sansa, Arya, and Bran with this invitation to see if they would care to join him. It would be better for them not to be in refuge, and that they would be protected, because he feels that Johnston, like former King Tommen's, would be one that would not do treachery against them. They seem to accept this and decide to travel with him. After some time of traveling to King's Landing, they present themselves before Johnston. Johnston assures Sansa, Arya, and Bran that while he is a bit naive of the history of things that has happened in the past in King's Landing of the former rulers, that he intends to rule decently and not with treachery, and guarantees both Sansa, Arya, and Bran that nothing shall happen to them while he is on his watch as king of the Iron Throne of Swords for the realm of the kingdoms. All three of them seem delighted, and he finally decrees, "You are refugees no more. Go and be at peace. Make this your home. One day, perhaps, things will turn out for the best, and you will have your rightful claim." And he doesn't explain why he says this, but leaves it at that and dismisses them. So they take their leave from the throne, as Littlefinger also takes his leave to set up business in King's Landing that he had once had set up, and thus he becomes very wealthy, for now he has business in both Dragonstone and King's Landing. As Littlefinger was working and getting his brothel type area reestablished in King's Landing, he happened to notice somebody walking by. He looked kind of serious at first and shook his head. He couldn't believe it, as though he were seeing a ghost. He had instructed somebody to continue what they're doing so that they can be ready to start making more coin for the kingdom. As he steps outside, "My lady, may I ask your audience?" She slowly turns and he looks kind of shocked. "I thought you were dead." Margie kind of smiles a bit about this. "Well, I thought I was too." "May I approach?" "Yes, I'm not a ghost. You can talk to me." He kind of smiles about this, shakes his head. "Oh, I mean, why, or it's okay, Littlefinger. I managed to save myself. It was a sheer miracle that King Johnston's wife actually, well, saved me. I had been stuck and could not get out. I tried to warn others, but nobody would listen. I knew something was wrong when my husband, who is deceased, yes, I heard he took his own life, but he thought you were dead. Well, his mother never showed up at the Faith of the Seven Temple. Something told me this is not right. Something was wrong. And as soon as I had decided that I needed to leave, they wouldn't let me. But I managed to get away anyway. As soon as the explosion started, I was just barely able to escape. Great was the explosion, and it took my brother's life. Though he had decided to accept the Faith of the Seven at that time, just before the treachery that she had done started, and was even marked on the forehead to be like those who carry the clubs and wear the chains. So I feel that with everything that has happened, I have to see from my mother's point that I think I was brainwashed. No religious faction should ever have to be so unruly. And I can speak freely now because I never thought I would be back among the living. Well, it's good to see that you are. I take it everything's gone well then, since you have been discovered by King Johnston's wife, Queen Mary. Yes. So do you intend to stake a claim on the throne? I mean, surely, since you are alive and being the survivor, widower of former King Tommen's. No, I do not wish to sit on the Iron Throne of Swords for the realm of the kingdoms, and I haven't caught up to speed on everything that has happened. What good would it do me to sit on the throne for only just a short while, only so that whoever stakes their definite claim on it should take in, that is well said. Besides, I have other duties that require my attendance, responsibilities that are greater than that of the throne. Oh, well, I was with child, And if it had not been for Queen Mary finding me amongst the rubble, I and the child would have both perished. As soon as she had found me and helped clean me up and caught me up to speed on everything, since I missed the great invasion by this Daenerys Stormborn of the House Targaryen, because again I couldn't get out. Fortunately, there was enough food for me to survive on. I have given birth to a son. Well, then technically he would have rightful claim to the throne. Yes, and that will be the claim that I make through the one who is born when he's of age. Okay, so what are you going to do now? I mean, right now, you have had, not that I intend to offend you or bring a painful past, but you've had 3 husbands. First, there was King Tyrell, and he was killed by that which was a shadow with the former King Lanis's face. Then there was King Joffrey, and someone poisoned him, even on the day that you were to start your honeymoon. And then there was King Tommen's, the better half. He thought you were dead, and he took a nosedive off one of the palace rooms after carefully laying the crown out so that it may be passed on to somebody else. I have come to realize this, Littlefinger, and I'm hoping it's not because I was cursed that I should have so many husbands that do not live. I have not decided whether I will take another husband, nor if I want to continue being queen. I didn't want to be queen when my first husband was attacked in such a manner and killed. I will have to give it some thought. I'm not sure who I will marry, but I'm sure it will be somebody of nobility and dignity. Someone who will not hold this against me and be fearful of me because I've had so many 3 husbands already. Well, I would like to attend when you should find such a gentleman. You will be invited, and I thank you for your proper courtesies, Littlefinger. And yes, I am happy to be still alive. He and she seems to laugh a little bit about this. Well, it is good because I didn't want anybody thinking I was going mad if I was seeing a ghost wearing a crown walking the streets. Yes, that would be a little unusual for you, Littlefinger, considering your reputation. Yes, I would agree with you on that. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to ask of me? No, it is good to see you alive and well. My mother is very happy about this too. Um, I caught her up to speed on the things that I know as well, and she's a proud grandmother now. So, I didn't think I was ever going to see daylight again, but I am happy that I was found. Perhaps when the time's right, we can talk. I hear rumors from, of course, as you know, certain spies that many people of many kingdoms have. And apparently there's a visitor, not of any known kingdom, that is due to arrive in our world. Yes, I have heard this. Well, this is something that should be very intriguing. They say, and she kind of looks around with a whisper, that is of a legend they call human. Really? Well, it makes you wonder why people would say things like, this is inhuman, or this is not a very human type thing to do. Perhaps humans were a legend, and this legend is due to become true. And it's said that he's a bit low in stature and frail than us. But he's going to be by himself and can't get back to his world. see. I think that it would be for the benefit of making one happy. For you? No. No, it is not my destiny to have this one as my husband. But I think it is destiny for him to be a husband to another. We will find out soon who that other is that he will be a husband to. But that's all I've heard for now. Well, thank you for sharing me this information, Queen Margie, he says with a slight grin, and she also grinning slightly. I would enjoy visiting with you sometime soon. Well then, thank you, and I hope I have proved to you. And she holds her hand out, and he takes her hand and kisses her in a gentleman dignified-like way on her hand. As you now see, I'm no ghost. No, you are not. Well, I need to go and look in on my son. But thank you for calling an audience of me. You're welcome, my queen. I hope you will have a better future coming ahead of you, as do I. So with that, he bows respectfully to her, and she accepts this, and they both go their separate ways. At the Summer Islands, Greyjoy's sister begins making her own plans. Even though she had been warned, she's not going to have to act on it right away because she doesn't want to draw attention to herself. She discusses things with Lady Tyrell, who is planning also to moving to King's Landing to ensure that her investment of putting Johnston on the throne with his wife, Miri, sitting at his right side, that nothing befalls them. This time she intends to stay close because she still, though she be elderly, has much power behind her name and the house of Tyrell. This being understood, she is given much fanfare by the leader of the Lady Warriors of Summer Island, and in the meantime, while she's off to King's Landing to settle there, to be protector of the interests of carrying the Tyrell lineage, even if it be a mere cousin, through Tommen's and or Miri, that her interests are well protected, and she has knights to go with her. In the meantime, Greyjoy's sister discusses things with the Lady Warriors. They plan on eventually, though they're not sure when, to wait for some sign, which they don't realize will be that of the stranger that will come unto Daenerys. And that through that sign, Greyjoy will be free once again. And as far as the current king of the Iron Islands, they plan on finding a way to find those who do not like his type of demeanor type person and how to overthrow him. Granted, he may have ships, but then they too have one thing in their favor. Greyjoy's sister knows much about sailing, and therefore a sea battle could be foreseen. And without her knowledge of ships, nobody could overthrow him. So much planning is taken into consideration on this, and they form an alliance. This then becomes their own faction, so that Greyjoy's sister can either have the throne, or if Greyjoy is free one day, he will have it. But Greyjoy's sister feels that she should be queen of the Iron Islands. So, with that, the planning continues, and much discussion of things yet to come, so that she may get back that which she had rightful claim and was lost. Daenerys then calls a meeting of certain officials to discuss things that not only she discovered on the beach, but of certain things that she has discovered at night in the throne room. Things are covered about the gods possibly paying her to look after this one, though she's not certain of this. She also talks about the dark blue star that she has seen. And great is the discussion of prophecies to be unveiled before her. She also then makes a decree that the next time these priests of who warn her about choosing a suitor approach her, that she will not only give them that answer that she has chosen one, but reveal what she has learned, and that she does not want to be approached like this again because she is not one to be threatened, and nor take such stress lightly. This gets out to the priests, and they understand that perhaps pushing her might not be the best way to get her off the throne, but at the same time, since they did seek an answer, they must accept this, and so they do. And they disturb her no further, but wait to see if this so-called prophecy actually comes true. In the meantime, she tells the historian that while the decree was made by the cousin of the former King Lanis that nothing should be kept documented in the history to protect her own reputation because of the sensitive politics, and with her own decree that nothing should be entered also, that when time comes, all shall be revealed in truth, because she has a feeling that this stranger who will appear shall make his own discoveries, and she will allow this, because this way she can test him to see how receptive he is. If he is very submissive to her and her ruling, then she'll also know he is the one that she is to mate with and have as a suitor. The historian understands this. And so he then, too, is given the instruction to just merely state that, as far as the missing pages of time, that it is kept for the sensitivity of politics out of the history books, but that in time all shall be unveiled. In the meantime, she then consults with Missandei, and again, because they are very good friends, and though Missandei be a handmaiden to the queen, their friendship is very good and strong because of the time that they have always traveled together since she was freed by Daenerys. She thinks about what it would be like to have relations with this human. Again, more unusual topics to discuss, but then a queen does have privileges to discuss such things in privacy as she walks from the throne room to this meeting room balcony outside. And much becomes the discussion on what it would be like to experience certain experiences from this one from another world. They discuss much like women's talk or women telling secrets of future love stories and tales to each other. She also gives Missandei encouragement to keep her relations with Grey Worm and hopes that it works out for the best, as Missandei does appreciate this. She kind of thinks about how things will turn out if she gets the Iron Throne of Swords, which she does believe she will, through the aid of this stranger. She decides that perhaps the visionary is right. I would not want to just use him for this, because then I wouldn't feel right to break it off with him just because he served my purposes and needs. I think that I would be committed to him, give him an undying love, as much as he would probably have for me. And who knows, maybe I will have many children with him. She says with a big smile. It is as if she's in love with someone that she has never met yet, like a prearranged marriage, as was the customs of his homeworld of Earth and of her world. She is so looking forward to the stranger's arrival, and she has no idea what to expect. But she also kind of in a joking way, I just hope this one that from the other world can handle me, because being the stronger dragon, he may be in over his head. though he is supposed to be one with me, I just hope he can handle me, for I may put him through many trials, both, well, sexually, she laughs about this, and through my ruling. I just hope he knows what he's doing, or what he will do when he speaks boldly to me. Missandei thinks about this. Well, it would be quite the test to put this one through. And should he pass, I think I will know for certain he is the chosen one. They both then, as the scene ends, look over the kingdom of Mareen, thinking about what it's going to be like when the stranger finally arrives. As you all know, I have summoned this meeting because I believe it is of great importance. The palace visionary has told me, cleared her throat with the excitement and a slight face, we are due to have a very, very special guest. Unfortunately, for his sake and way of most unexpectedness, he will be coming to us probably at first fearful, and of course we may not understand words he speaks, for he is not of any known kingdom of our world, and he's going to be coming from another world. She looks then over at Tyrion. You had mentioned once in my absence, before I gave you the opportunity to be Hand of the Queen, certain discussions that you've had with my handmaiden and Grey Worm. Now, it is not for me the mere importance of what you were discussing, but of certain words, or at least a word. Tyrion kind of looks up at her with a slight eyebrow raised, wondering what's going to happen at this point. You need not worry, because the word that I hear is that the word human was used. Do you even know what a human is? No, my queen. I'm sure Grey Worm wouldn't have used such a thing if he hadn't heard it from you or someone else. She looks over at Grey Worm, who kind of looks at her just for a little bit, then looks down and then straight out again. But I have taken the time for many things that the visionary has brought to my attention. There is a legend that there is a race of people from another world, but much of the history or legends of these manuscripts and old scrolls had been lost since the time of the Valyrian Doom. These humans are low in stature and much more frail than us, but that they have a strong heart. Poor human. This one, of course, from what I've understood, is going to have a weak spirit because of the fact that prophecy says, I shall find this one, and great will be my treasure, because there would be none other like him. Not any man of the world will come close to being like him, and thus he will be my greatest treasure of all the treasures that I have within this palace. Missandei even kind of looks down with a little smile on that. And therefore, it would seem that, according to the visionary, I am to take this one as my own. Yet, because he has weak spirit, as one can imagine, it would, I guess you could say, be somewhat unfitting for when he knows that I am a powerful queen, to show such forwardness to him, and him knowing that I will be the powerful queen I am, that I wish to mate with him. Rudy starts laughing, and she laughs a bit too. And you can imagine how fearful that would be for one who has never been of our world, that a powerful queen would have such interest in one from out of this world. And therefore I must act more reserved with this one, for I don't want him to feel in fear that he should accept me because of my position, that he should speak freely. But eventually, we are to betrothed. I myself find this kind of somewhat exciting, and I'm not sure how yet to handle this. Someone then speaks up amongst the crowd. You marrying a human? They all start laughing. Why would you marry such a weak man? She kind of quickly looks towards his direction. And you think this is funny? uh, sorry, my queen. You know, you should learn that if I say something, it's not that I am trying to be funny, and that I might take that as an offense that you're trying to laugh at me. It was not my intention, my queen. I'll let that slide, because of the fact that I, too, found it somewhat unusual. And then she looks back towards the main part of the crowd. This one here will have sorrow coming with him. It is through some catastrophic event that he will be coming to us. He will be bold, and I am permitted to, with somewhat pleasure, discipline him for his boldness, because I have to groom him, and eventually he will have to learn of our laws, our traditions, and our customs, because he will not be able to go back to his world, and he would be lost in obscurity and perish, because he will not have others of his kind to relate with or mate with. And he soon will be symbolically, she decides whether she should mention this or not, a male dragon that comes seeking the female dragon, who is much stronger. And as we all know, symbolically, the female dragon is I, the mother of dragons. Nobody says anything. So, being the stronger, symbolism is everything, of course. The stronger female dragon, mother dragons, I shall welcome this one. I may even have to test him to see what loyalties he has. I am somewhat anxious, because I have no idea what he will be like. And great will be, according to the Palace Visionary, my feelings for this one. This is strange for me to hear things like this. I'm not sure if it's proper or not, but he is a Palace Visionary, and I trust his judgment, that he would not make me to look like a fool should he not arrive, because then I would have no choice but to have his head. I don't see this happening. So the question is, when will he arrive? You see, not long ago, when I was in solitude of my morning, I have found strange things that were on the beach. Things not of this world. I've locked them up for safekeeping so that they are not, through somebody's temptation of treachery, stolen, because those are my treasures. I would imagine they're a form of coin, like that of our world, but different. They have faces on them. I do not know what these things mean. Me and Missandei had seen these things, and if such a catastrophic event has happened, it happened even earlier, before we were awoken the first time by a dark blue star in the Valerian night sky, which shone very, very brightly. This dark blue star is possibly the location of where this one stranger, a human of legend, is due to arrive from. According to the palace visionary, he didn't say when exactly, but soon. I will find him on the shores of Slaver's Bay. I may fall for this one because there is no other like him. But there's going to come a time, and I'm not saying which night it will be, but whoever happens to be available at the time, I may call upon a couple of nights to help him, because he'll need his strength and much rest from his journey. And I do not want him harmed, or spoiled, or marred for life. Therefore I decree that upon requesting any assistance by any knight, that he be treated well. Are we not clear? All the knights nod their head in approval. Then she looks at the one knight who had much interest in her. This is why, my dear sweet knight, that I cannot have you as my mate, though you have been very good to me. And everybody looks at him, because now it's almost as if she's revealing a secret that went on between him and the queen. You do not have what I need or want. This one will. But you'll always have a part of my heart, so long as you continue to serve me well and show much respect. And I will not forget the times we have had. One of the other knights then, kind of in a scornful way, looks at him. You, associating with a queen, I thought that was forbidden. You should be flogged for this. And then she quickly looks at him. I did not give such a command that he should be flogged. If I did, I would have had someone do it a long time ago. Sorry, my queen. You will know your place, and you will find someone. And as much as part of your heart will have a spot for me, my heart will have a spot for you, but that it won't go any further than that. Now do you understand? He kind of looks down like he's saddened and nods his head. I am sorry things turned out this way, but this is destiny, and destiny cannot be changed. I've come to accept this, as you shall, just as it was destiny, now that I have come to realize this, that I have learned from my mistake, and I do not make mistakes twice. It was destiny that I not have the Iron Throne of Swords for the realm of the kingdoms longer than 3 days. I, like my brother, long ago, had the delight of having this throne, but I acted more subtle about it, and the visionary said that when one who is a king or queen admits to doing their mistake, then they are truly acting like a queen or king. And this is what I want. I want people to not hate me anymore. I want people to know that I am a king and queen, and I freely admit my mistake, and I will never, ever do this again, nor will the Dothraki join me the next time that I should have this throne. And I will have this throne. But it will not be of my choosing or planning. It will be by the one who comes from this other world, and therefore his purpose shall serve me well, and then I will have the throne once and for all. The knight, seeing somewhat saddened, again nods his head in approval. She, seeing this, of course, doesn't make a spectacle of it, and just merely looks away. So, this is the way of it. He will come into our world, and we should treat him well. Eventually, he will get over his sorrow, but I will have much concern as to how he will survive. He may look different than us. He may have a somewhat different colored skin, yet somewhat close to like that of ours. And because his world are of smaller people, she kind of looks with a smile at Tyrion. Not short like you, Tyrion. Oh, well, he doesn't know what to say. But he will be shorter. She kind of thinks about it. I suppose that he will be shorter than me, although I can't imagine having such a short husband. But it will be quite interesting, and I'm told somewhat stimulating. But I still can't imagine what this will be like. So, this is what I wanted to discuss with you all. These are the things that have come to pass. And soon there will be one more event prior to his arrival, which would be a sign that, again, as symbolism is everything, he will soon come to us. And so with that, then they pause for a second to reflect on everything that she has said.